I'm Paola Antonelli. I work at the Museum of Modern Art, where I'm a senior curator of architecture and design and also director of R&D. I take care of exhibitions of contemporary design and architecture. When I say design, it's a very, very wide umbrella, and it encompasses furniture and product and fashion, but also video games and interfaces and visualization design. So a really, really wide spectrum. Right now, there's a great exhibition. I have to say it's really great. It's called Items is Fashion Modern, and it's open here at MoMA. It's the whole 6th floor. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. And it's open until the end of January 2018. That's an exhibition in which we show 111 items of clothing or things that you can wear that had a really strong influence on our world in the past 100 years. When I say our world, I mean a New York-centric world, which is the world basically, but now, seriously speaking, it's a Western, nonetheless very inquisitive world. So it's an exhibition that spans the gamut of, of course, you will have the little black dress and the Levi's 501s and the white t-shirt, but also sari and kente and other guayaberas and other items that come from different parts of the world. So it's been another great experience. The good thing about dealing with design and contemporary design especially is that every exhibition is a completely new exploration of new worlds. Paul Steinhardt, who's a physicist that used to hold at that time Einstein's chair at Princeton, started collaborating with Aranda Lash, two very young architects that were doing experimental work, and they worked together with an artist and they did many projects together. Or another wonderful thing that happened when the exhibition opened, in the exhibition there was work by designers and work by scientists, and they were just like put together without any kind of compunction, whether one was an art designer or scientist. And in one of the sections there were two projects next to each other. One were these new protein markers that had been devised by these scientists at UCLA. They were basically like an alphabet soup. Usually protein markers are colors and they bind the color to protein so you can recognize them. But in that particular case, besides the colors, there were also letters of the alphabet. So it was a much more precise way to identify the proteins. And so there was a picture, a printout of a magnification of these like soup, alphabet soup. Next to it was the work of this lovely Israeli font designer and artist that had done something that he called typosperma, which meant in his mind that a little character could be injected in every spermatozoa so that each ejaculation would almost be a poem unto itself. So it was just like this completely wacky idea. It was beautifully rendered, and they were next to each other. And the scientists, when they met the designer, started hugging each other and hugging the designer. They were so happy to be outside of their realm. It really made me understand that sometimes fields that are separate by, between quotes, prejudice, a prejudice that is like an academic prejudice, not a deep racial or political prejudice, but still it's a prejudice. And sometimes creating this short circuit can make for really amazing work and amazing new ideas. The Department of R&D at MoMA does a lot of R and not much D, but the R is really good and substantial. And in particular, we put together salons that happen every other month or when I can. And they are salons that try to show to people how helpful a museum can be in helping them deal with really important and complicated issues. Like we did a salon about death, we did a salon about taboos, and we did 21, so we did a lot. The last one was about silence. And for each one of these salons, we create the ideal interdisciplinary team, because we always have 4 speakers that come from very different backgrounds and that tackle the same subject plus myself. So to give you an example, for the salon about death, I gave like a preamble, an introduction to the idea of death in our culture, you know, just very succinct, but quite helpful. Then we had the founder of the Department of Narrative Medicine at Columbia University. We had an architect that's studying the integration of death in urban environments. We had a guide to burial grounds, and we also had a very, very dry and wonderful philosopher, ethicist. So these 4+1 gave a sense of how a reflection on death happening in a museum can be helpful. In other cases, we had scientists together with musicians, so it really depends. But we try to show how an interdisciplinary team can tackle a very tough topic in 2 hours with an audience that is also prepared because they get a reading list, and actually achieve something, at least a step deeper into the topic. So can you imagine if these teams were actually working, assigned a project that has a beginning and an end? I think that we haven't even started to explore the possibilities of interdisciplinary teams that don't have to immediately deliver something practical, but can take some time to think of the issue.